All right, good afternoon, everybody. As Verona mentioned, this is Dave Nadler. We're here together just to kind of tag team this briefing. Although Verona is going to do most of it, I'm just going to kick it off and talk briefly about last Sunday's outbreak that we had, tornado outbreak, mainly across central Georgia. We know that there's still in places some recovery and cleanup going on. At least the last few days have been, weather-wise, have been relatively quiet and nice despite the colder air. Certainly our hearts go out to those that were affected directly by the tornadoes from last Sunday. But as of today, we just in our forecast area alone of north and central Georgia, obviously this was a central and southern Georgia event, and obviously parts of Alabama, South Carolina got affected too, and even parts of North Florida. So this is a pretty significant tornado outbreak. We've accounted for 14 tornadoes as of today. I know we were out yesterday. We've been out surveying for the past 3 days and trying to get to definitely the hardest hit areas first on Monday and Tuesday. And then yesterday we were backtracking on some of the other smaller areas of damage across the area. But of the 14 tornadoes that we've confirmed, 3 of them were considered strong, EF2 or greater. Obviously, the top of that list was the long track EF4 that came out of Alabama, went across Lee and Russell County, then across all the way into Talbot County before lifting. That track was more than 70 miles in length, so there was a continuous path of damage for nearly 70 miles, very similar to the Albany tornado that hit in January of 2017 with respect to intensity, duration, and track. So we really haven't seen, a tornado, an outbreak like this since actually the mid to late January 2017 event that affected much of South Georgia. We did have another long track EF2 tornado that came out of Barber County, Alabama, and then went across Quitman and then into Stewart County. That was on the ground for about 31 miles. And then you could see on the map the various smaller tracks that we've documented to this point, and there's a couple of other areas that we still need to look at. So we'll be trying to get that done over the next couple of days, working with local and county emergency management. Which, if anybody's on the call or on this meeting that has been helping us out over the last few days with data collection and storm reports, thank you very much. We appreciate all the information. We know that there's a lot that you're all dealing with, in addition to just sharing the information with us. So we appreciate the support and the time that you guys have spent with us. So hopefully, the next couple of days will be relatively quiet. We do have a system going into this weekend I'll let Verona talk more about. We're not looking at this in a system like last weekend, but nonetheless, we are in March, and anytime we get a pretty good front moving through, hold on one second. Sorry, guys. I just had to take back control of the presentation. I accidentally allowed somebody to take over. My bad. All right. No, do not want you to take over. Okay. So we're going to let, Verona's going to talk about the next couple of days and with the next system coming in this weekend. And with that, I'll move on to the next slide here, talk about the highlights.
Okay. Good afternoon, everybody. The next system is expected over the weekend. I guess I should mention first that we're not really looking at any big temperature changes this time for the upcoming week. We should be right around normal for the most part, so we won't have any big swings of colder temperatures like we did behind this system that just moved through. The rain is expected to begin increasing late tonight and Friday for far north Georgia. As a cold front approaches late Saturday and Saturday night, we will have showers and thunderstorms, likely mostly along and west of I-85, affecting northwest Georgia. And overnight, Saturday, it looks like a few storms could be strong to severe with damaging winds, some small hail, tornadoes possible, and some locally heavy rainfall. For Sunday, the front should shift to central Georgia and stall for a while, which would put the severe threat farther south over portions of middle Georgia. And the primary threats for Sunday would be damaging winds and large hail. It looks like we may lose some of the instability and shear for Sunday, and the tornado threat would be somewhat less. So in general, we're looking at around 10 p.m. Saturday, rain increasing across northwest Georgia. And then for Sunday morning, rain increasing still farther into northwest Georgia, approaching central Georgia, and this would include any isolated severe storms that could occur. And for Sunday afternoon, generally 4 through 7 p.m., the front has stalled across middle Georgia, and that's where the bulk of any rainfall or potential severe weather would be. So for Saturday night, Storm Prediction Center has the greatest risk just clipping northwest Georgia, the slight risk, and back into Alabama, with marginal risk for much of our forecast area, and this would be overnight Saturday. The marginal to slight risk would include damaging winds, the main threat, some heavy rainfall, lightning, and a brief tornado. And this is approximately, we're looking at approximately around 4 p.m. Saturday evening to about 4 a.m. Sunday. And just another way of looking at that for the threats, we kind of did a sliding bar chart for Saturday night. On a scale of 1 to 5, it looks like the damaging winds and the rainfall would be the greatest threat, and then the tornadoes, isolated tornadoes, would be still a threat, but about 1 to 2 on the sliding scale, and then the large hail also. For Sunday, late morning into the evening, we're looking at a slight risk for mostly central Georgia, although some lingering storms could occur across the north as the front slides south. Timing on this is still pretty general, and we will get a better handle on it over the next day. Storm threats for Sunday, it looks like the threat for tornadoes is the least of the threats, with damaging winds, rainfall, and large hail would be the main ones. To get a general idea of rainfall amounts for Friday, for tomorrow, we're looking at rain increasing overnight tonight and into Friday. Generally light amounts across the Atlanta-Athens area, less, a quarter inch or less, and then about a quarter inch to a half inch slightly north from Rome to Gainesville, and then north of that, say a half inch to an inch possible on Friday and into Friday night. And then for Saturday and Saturday night, ahead of the front, for the northwest corner, 1.5 to about 2, just extreme far north corner, and then lesser amounts as we go down into central Georgia. So, and across the Atlanta-Athens metro areas, about a half inch to an inch, and then for Rome, Gainesville, Helen area, about an inch to an inch and a half. For Sunday, as the front has sagged into central Georgia, the greatest amounts would occur along the Columbus to Macon corridor, about anywhere from 1/2 to 1 1/4 inches through that area. So in summary, seasonal temperatures expected through the middle of next week, with rain moving back in late Friday for far north Georgia, cold front approaching Saturday and Saturday night with showers, thunderstorms along and just ahead of the front, with a few storms strong to severe, mainly along and west of I-85 for Saturday and Saturday night, with damaging winds, small hail, and a tornado possible, and locally heavy rainfall. And for Sunday, the severe threat shifts south and east over middle Georgia, with the primary threats damaging winds and large hail. And beyond this, looks like the next storm system would be midweek for Wednesday through Friday. And that's something that's at this point is not, looks like is not a great threat right now, but that's up for evaluation at a later date.